Hey everybody! I know it's been quite some time since I made a video, and I know last time I made a video I even said that I'd be trying to make some more frequently, but you know, just really haven't had the motivation or really any new material to talk about, so I'm starting to come up with some ideas, and the video that you're about to watch, or you are watching, is something new, so appreciate all you guys sticking with me through this whole time. So anyhow, on to the video. So what we're looking at here is a outside the waistband holster that I made for my Glock 27. So finally, I went ahead and purchased my first pistol. Went ahead and went with the Glock 27. Had a little bit of experience with it, shooting it through a friend who has it, and you know, I really like it, and I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. So main thing I wanted was, you know, reliability, and you know, something that I could take to the range, have fun with, and then something that I could also conceal carry. So those were my main criteria. Otherwise, I was looking at getting a 1911 just for shooting around and everything, but I wanted something that, you know, met more criteria than, you know, just something to take to the range. So went with the Glock 27, and this is the outside the waistband holster that I just made for it. I went ahead and did a Stingray inlay, and then, you know, the rest of the holster is cowhide. So this was definitely a very interesting project. I think I spent about 13 or 14 continuous hours making it, which was quite a lot, but you know, once I started making it, I really got into it, and you know, time started to fly. So yeah, I went ahead and did like a pancake style. So molded to the gun nicely. There's really good retention. Doesn't fall out, but yet not too tight. So this is basically just a test holster for me. One thing that you have to keep in mind when making these things is how far you need to sew, because when you make these things, you actually sew the leather first, and then actually wet form the leather to the gun. So that was something that I was really just guessing on, and you know, I did a pretty good job of guessing, I suppose. So the way I did the inlay, in case anybody's wondering, is I went ahead and cut out this whole front piece of leather. So this whole piece of leather is one piece. I went ahead and cut that out, and then I wanted to make an inlay, so I went ahead and cut a specific shape that I wanted for this holster. And by cutting out that piece, then you could put the Stingray or whatever kind of inlay leather you want behind it. And then I ended up adding an additional piece of leather behind the Stingray in order to raise it up, otherwise it would be sunken in the holster a little bit, and I really didn't want that. So looks a lot better like that. And then behind that piece of leather, there's the actual inside. So let's see if we can get a little bit better view. So it's sewn all the way through and everything. So sewn all along the edge in order to keep all the layers together. And then I actually blended it so the stitching actually mixes in with the rest of the stitching. And if you've noticed, this is actually the thinner thread that I have available, and then I switched to the thicker braided cord because I figured it'd pop a little bit more. So it doesn't really matter to me that they're two different threads. I mean, this is the stitching that's around the inlay, and then, you know, the actual stitching for the rest of the holster is all the same, so I think it matches. But I made everything, you know, go along the edge, so there were no loose ends. So this leather right here wouldn't come apart. Then down at the corner, this leather wouldn't come apart because it's stitched along it. So everything blends together very nicely. Nicely molded. And I also made a sight channel. So when you slide the gun in, the front sight doesn't rub on it. So that's pretty cool. And overall, it works really good. You know, I tried to experiment with the molding and everything, all the tooling, you know, just to see what looked good, what didn't. And this actually turned out pretty good. you know, I really like it. Everything molded very nicely. The belt loops are pretty much preformed and molded, you know, so it'll slide on the belt better. And I still have my gun belt that I made about a year ago. Let me see. I stamped it on the inside just for my own record. Made it 5/20 of 2012. Still holding up great. Great belt. You know, sewed all the way along. And 2 pieces of leather sewn together. So it's nice, durable, very rigid. But it is still supple. So that goes through the holster like so. So there's the back side. And the front side. And I think it turned out really good. You know, it rides great. Nice cant to the holster. That's one of the things that I was looking for. And overall it rides great. So I'm in the process of getting my concealed carry permit. So I'll have that fairly soon. You know, winter's coming up, so if I do get my permit by then, I'll be able to carry this outside the waistband. And then somewhere down the line, I'll want to make an inside the waistband holster for concealed carry. But this is just something that I wanted to play around with, you know, make one for the range. And, you know, just make it for show and everything. But it is still very functional, and I do plan on using it, so there's that. Oh, and there's the muzzle of the gun to the holster. Fit very nicely. Still able to get your fingers in there to draw the gun. So, you know, overall I'm very happy with it. Hopefully in the future I could actually do a how-to video on this for you guys in case anybody's interested. Very fun though. Good holster. A lot of time and effort put into it, but it was fun. So along here, just as another little side thing, I went ahead and sewed along the edge. And then I also did a line of stitching here in order to keep the leather from coming apart. And because this is sewn pretty close to the end here, that's not going to come apart. It's sewn very close up there and there, so that won't come apart. So both of the loops are pretty much covered. So it should be pretty durable. You know, really liking it. Oh, and in case anybody's wondering, I wanted to go with the Gen 4 Glock just because of the replacement back straps. Because I do have fairly large hands, they're pretty long fingers, rather. And I ended up putting on the medium back strap, I think. The standard frame was just a little too small, but this is just right. So, yep, there's that. And yeah, that's about it for this video. Just thought I'd share it with you guys. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Still, I'm not quite sure if I want to be taking any orders right yet, but you know, if you do have any questions or anything on something that you might like to have done, then just let me know and I can see what I could do. So anyhow guys, I appreciate you watching and sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.